Hi, I'm Jim Francis with AY McDonald. Today, I'm going to show you how to properly install the Handy-Loc fitting. For installing this fitting, it does not require any tools. Once you chamfer the tubing, you can stab that tubing through the gripper and then through the gasket. The reason for chamfering, so you don't tear or destroy this gasket right here. Once you've stabbed it through the fitting, you just pull back on the service line to set the gripper into place. When installing this fitting, it's critical to be sure all the grippers and the tubing are very clean, so it allows for this red gripper here to grip onto the tubing when setting and pulling back on the tubing. First thing we need to do is mark the tubing for the stab depth of the service line into the Handy-Loc. Once you mark the stab depth, we then want to chamfer the end of the tubing so when you insert it into the coupling, it does not cut the O-ring inside the Handy-Loc. So we have our 1-inch chamfering tool here. The chamfering tool puts a nice 45-degree bevel on the tubing so it slides right inside the O-ring, past the O-ring and onto the surface of the tubing. The next step is we want to inspect the tubing, make sure it's free of any kind of debris. Then we want to inspect the inside of the Handy-Loc. Make sure the gripper is installed in the proper direction and it's free of dirt and debris as well. We're ready to stab the coupling onto the end of the service line to make the connection. So we now stab the coupling down to the mark we put on the tubing. Once installed to the mark, we want to pull back on that tubing to set the gripper. One thing to note, when installing the Handy-Loc in sandy soils, it could be good practice to wrap the end of the fitting, so you start at the service fitting and wrap it down past onto the tubing to keep sand and debris to work its way inside the brass fitting into the grippers. With all service line connections, it's good practice to pressure test these connections before backfilling. Again, I'm Jim Francis. If you like this video, go ahead and follow us on social media.